Look at that. Talking about impossible stuff about catching swarms. And sure enough, I got one here. And I mean, look, we're just out in the middle of nowhere. Beautiful purple flowers. Okay, so I was actually just kind of concerned that maybe they were just trying to rob out the honey frames that we put in there, but I'm actually physically seeing them bring in pollen. So that is a very good sign. So basically this is, man, that is a strong hive right there. Beautiful honeybees. Hey everybody, it's Mike with Seeds and Arrows Frontier. So yeah, I think we got our first swarm, and it looks to be a really good pile of bees in a box that I put up. And so I'll just tell you, I videotaped me putting up these boxes a little back, but I haven't like posted anything just because I didn't want to waste anybody's time saying that, you know, oh yeah, I posted up these boxes and then you never know anything gets in them then. But today, it's been like 2.5 months, been checking them. This box was one of the boxes that I just threw up in an area, and it was, from my opinion, the least likely box to get bees. But I just figured I wanted to go ahead and get boxes up in different area locations because you never know, hence today. Okay, so this is the moment of truth. It's 9 p.m. June 5th, 2020, and I came out here earlier just to check on my swarm boxes, and we had bee activity there. Now, I'm not sure if we necessarily got a swarm, but the reason why we came back in the evening time is because all of the bees will move back to the hive in the evening time, and you'll be able to see because they'll go back to their hive. So if there is a hive here, then they'll be going back to it. So we're going to check and see if we still have bees here or if it was just a fluke. Now if you can actually just see, this is the countryside, and we're out here, got just a little grass road bush hogged, so you can see them all right there, just coming in and out, just meandering around. That's a good sign. So that's why we come back in the evening time, but they're all just nice and calm right now and just staying around. So I have an idea. Like I said, this was like one of like 7 or 8 different boxes and swarm traps that I put out, and I really wasn't expecting to catch anything in this swarm trap. I was expecting to catch them over at the other places, but none of those places have actually hit, and this is the one that, so you still see bees flying in. And I mean, they're congregating on the front. I mean, they wouldn't be doing that if they were robbing it out. And so the way I set this box up was I had some existing comb from my dead out last year that still had honey on it. And so I was recommended not to do that because you'll get false activity, because the bees will be coming to rob the honey and you'll think that it's a swarm. However, when I was out here earlier, I did notice that the bees coming into the box had pollen on their legs. So they say that that's a sign when you're looking for swarms. So I would say that we got a queen in there. And by the amount of bees that we have on the front, I would say it's a really good hive. Alright, so we're losing daylight, but I'm going to go ahead and grab some of this grass right here. just need enough to get them inside the hive. These bees seem pretty calm, but I'm not going to take any chances because I don't feel like getting stung this late. So I'm gearing up. Okay. If you're able to see that. It's getting a little dark, but see how much I can do on here. Yes. Okay. All right. So we finished our project on our queen castle. So we're out here. We're going to break open the hive. The reason why I wanted to get the queen castle is just basically because there's 2 frames that are in the hive in the swarm trap, and they basically say that you want to be able to give them space to do their own thing. However, I only had limited amount of frames from my hive that died last year, and that was the one mistake, is I only went into last year with 1 hive. So we're trying to split this hive into multiple hives so that way we can get more chances to go through the winter. But so we're going to move the queen over into this one and then try to make some splits from the remaining bees. So basically we have the queen castle here. It has a 3 frame, a 3 frame, and a 2 frame. So right here for the middle, we have an entrance for the middle for them to get in, and this is going to be a 3 frame. Over here is a 2 frame. There's an entrance on the back, and then the other 3 frame, there's an entrance right here on the side. So the plan is we're going to break open the swarm trap, and I know that they got cone built up in there. I hadn't checked this swarm trap for 3 weeks. I was actually not even planning on this hive actually getting a swarm. We had 7 swarm traps out, and out of all of them I was not expecting this one to actually get anything. But surprisingly, this is the only one that actually got something, and these are actual out in the woods in the country, so there's no actual bee yards around there that I know of. So this is, as far as I can tell, a natural American swarm. Okay, so I got a couple of foundationless frames. What I plan on doing is, if there is any drawn comb on the lid here, we're going to have to cut it off. And I'm going to try to cut it and put it into these foundationless frames. I got some rubber bands here to be able to rubber band them into here. So I'm just going to go ahead and kind of get these prepared, putting some rubber bands on here. And this is just basically to hold the comb in place, and then what they'll end up doing is actually taking that and then gluing it onto these frames. All right, now without further ado, yep, it's a mess. There's a lot of comb. Hear that roar? They got comb going on both sides, so they've been in here a while.
Trying to break the seal a little bit. Wing capture. Yeah, these OPs, that's a mess.
Ooh.
That's fresh comb. Hey, I'm actually going to need Okay, so back here's the plastic bag that I had the lemongrass oil in on a Q-tip. I had the 2 frames in here. They basically crossed several of the frames. We got honey in here going that way. We got this going down here. So we got 2 nice frames, 3 nice frames there. They're falling. So that's honey right there. We can go ahead and salvage that. There's a little bit of brood on here. So there's a little bit of brood right there. So that's really good. So we'll be able to save that brood. That's what I'm going to try to go for first. And then all this honey up here. So we'll be able to salvage that. It's a nice sticky mess.
They definitely made themselves.
That is a huge swarm though, I'll tell you that. Look at that. I mean, just bees down in there galore. So, and then we had a little bit fall. Oh, it's brood over there. So we actually will attack that first. You got a sticky mess. Don't worry, they'll clean all that up though. Main thing is we want to get the stuff in the frames.
The real question is, are the rubber bands strong enough to hold the honeycomb?
A lot harder than it looks. Alright, got a little bit of the comb up here. So I'm going to go ahead and move it over into this box in here. Maybe try to get another piece in there. That out. Just more worried about like the brood right now. Alright, so I got that little bit of mess taken care of. Some drone comb back here. See if I can just... I see like a clump of bees down here, and I don't know if that's possibly the queen or if they're just getting honey off of that. We'll check here in a second. Some more rubber bands.
I got a fellow cameraman right now.
All right.
No, I'm saying I got a bee on the camera.
Oh, okay. It's coming up a little bit on my arm there. Now there's a little bit of cone safe. Now that all looks like good brood right there. Or I don't know, maybe that's cat. No, there's brood in here. Honey at the top here. I'll try to save as much of the brood as possible here. We actually got some good eggs in here for grafting. Mikey, are you able to do some close-in zooms, or? So we got some eggs. You can kind of see down in there. We got a little bit of eggs, larvae. This looks like capped brood right here. A little bit of honey was at the top. We got some nectar over here on the side. You get that? Are you able to see in any of those?
I'm trying. Yeah, we should be able to.
Just zoom in. See, so we got some larvae up here. I'll put them in here, and then did you get that? Sorry,
Yeah.
I was moving it away. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and flip the lid over. See if we can clean that up a little bit. I don't think Don't think there's much of anything else that we're going to be able to salvage on there. Just pretty much, look at that wild comb. Like a whole mess of bees in here. There's some nice honey. Are you able to like pick it up and then like just slide it in the middle? Yeah. Okay, perfect. Woo! It's a sticky, beautiful mess. Right now, it's like we were just. The problem was gambling with only one hive going through the winter, that one dying out, and then not having a plan to buy a new package or whatever. So our only bet was to basically everybody that I was talking to about packages, bees, they were already had a waiting list. So the only opportunity for us was to basically get our own swarm, and that's what we did here. Amazing. She was already packed out in here, so I think what we'll have to do, we're just gonna have to put these frames in, let them all calm down, and then come back another time to see if we can look for her, unless we get lucky and find her right here. Hey, look at that brood. See her big abdomen. I'm just looking real quick. Yeah. 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 Well, we'll move this one over. Let's see if we can get in there. There we go. There's a lot of drones in here though. Big butt drone. A lot of drones in here. That's good. Yeah. Yeah, we'll just have to do what we can, discard it, and go from there. Hopefully I just didn't crush her. Crap. It's a drone. Can't even get a hold of it. It does have a lot of drone. Yeah. Hoping that they still got a queen. They got a lot of drones in there. Hold on. Can I cut this more? Yeah. of them will leave. If she already swarmed, she'll swarm and then leave. And then the others will stay behind to raise the babies. I think she's still in here. These are only a couple day old eggs.
We're going.
Alright, so it was a mess. We weren't able to find the queen, but we're running out of time. So we got them moved over to this one. We're just going to go ahead and let them calm down, and then we'll try to find the queen later. But I think what we're going to do is, so we got the frame with the grafting on it, so we'll come back out here and do that. But now we at least got them cleaned up. The comb is all in frames now with rubber bands on them. We're able to get a nice little bowl of honey, and these things are packed out over here. We're just going to go ahead and move these in here since we just got a pile of bees right here. And I think they were probably about ready to swarm anyways. So now they can just have these empty frames over here. If the queen is in here, then she'll start laying eggs in these. We'll know where the queen's at. If she's not in here, then she's over here. So that settles that problem. Because these are all dead out frames. All right, so I have some pollen patty made up. We're just gonna throw these on top. So we got all the frames of brood over here, and a decent amount of bees. And we're going to just go ahead and see if the queen is possibly in here. If she is in here, then they'll just tend to her eggs and everything. We have all empty frames and some frameless frames for them to draw out over here. There was the majority of the bees were still over here. Worker brood and everything are still on the cones over in this one. So if the queen is over here, we should see eggs next week. So we're just kind of, we had a mess to go through. We're running out of time, so we'll just let them get calmed down and try to come back in next week and see which one is queen right and go from there. Thanks for watching. Stay safe, make each day count, and God bless.